Today's talk and grounding is about knowing when to let go. And I think that this is a pivotal piece for many of us in today's world because we have so many unknowns coming up constantly. We have so many things we have to watch out for. We have the ways in which we identify or orient as to, this is who I am, this is what I stand for, this is right, this is wrong. And it's constantly changing in today's world, in that the circumstances around us shift and change all the time. We age, children come, children go, circumstances come, partners come and go. Our life's work shifts and changes. Our living conditions change. So all of these things require that we know when to let go. When to let go. Let me talk just a little bit more about this. In my own personal life, I was struggling with a circumstance where I knew that I was right, that I was standing in integrity, that what I was asking for in this particular circumstance was correct. And yet, for some reason, the communication wasn't working. And what was going back and forth was just getting worse and worse. And I woke up in the middle of the night, just a few nights ago, and had a visitation from an old friend. And as she sat with me, it's almost as though she had her hand on my back. And she said to me, "What's most important here, Suzanne? What do you want in this circumstance? Think about it. Not what you think you should do, not what you know in your heart is right, but what do you want with all of your being?" And as I sat with her, I could feel every part of me lining up. And I could feel my gut instincts, my heart softening and opening. And then my thoughts just began to unfold and unravel what it was I truly wanted, independent of being right, independent of holding my ground, etc. You get the idea. Needless to say, when I walked away from that circumstance, everything in that circumstance that I was dealing with shifted and opened and healed. So what I'd like to offer you today is the process of where I went within myself and where I know each one of you are capable of dropping into, given the time and the skills and the capacity, so that you also can have a felt sense of when it's time to let go. Let go of being right, let go of having a circumstance be a certain way, all of those things. Okay? So the way and the place that's most important for this is to be able to drop deep into your bones, into your gut, into your heart, into your pelvis, and then to be able to have a clear conversation with your brain. One that will give you what you need in that moment, and perhaps something different than what you began with. Okay? So, take a moment now, let your eyes close, or semi-close, whatever's most comfortable for you, and allow yourself to take some easy, deep breaths. Easy breaths that drop you into the sensation of rising and falling in your chest, feeling your backbone on the chair, noticing the temperature of the air perhaps as it enters your nostrils, travels through your sinuses down into your lungs. And letting go, coming out. Yeah. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. Good. And as your awareness, as your curiosity, as your mind drops into your heart, your lungs, your belly, feeling the rise and fall of your chest and your belly as you breathe. Good, good. Yeah. And notice, if anywhere in your heart, if anywhere in your gut, if anywhere in your torso or your body, anywhere, you feel a charged sensation, like what I was feeling around this circumstance in my life. Notice if there's a place that feels heavy, or perhaps tight, or perhaps vacant, and you know darn well you should be able to feel that area of your body. Yeah. Yeah. And if it's easy, you may even want to just put a hand on that area. Belly, heart, wherever it is. Cradling it. And dropping in. Dropping in. Yeah. And acknowledging the circumstance that you have in your life that is no longer working in the form that it's in this moment. Good. And the good news is, we often have circumstances where the answer is simply to change the nature of the relationship with that area or that circumstance. Yeah. It does not require that you cut anything off, throw anything away, but simply change your relationship with it. And as you feel into this place and this circumstance, if you have one, notice the edges of it, the size of it. Notice the story that's locked here, if there is one, And then gently drop back to your spine. Allow yourself to drop deep into the sensation of your spine, leaning against whatever is supporting you. Your backbone, from the very bottom, the sacrum, all the way up to your neck. Feeling your spine resting, sturdy, steady, quiet. Holding everything up. And as you enter with your awareness this area of who you are, you may notice that things get quieter in your psyche. Whatever the disturbance was that you were feeling elsewhere in your body feels more distant. That's okay. And breathing into your bones. Breathing into your bones, all the air spaces that our bones have. Metaphorically, breathing into them. As though you are entering your inner sanctum, your inner temple. Good. Good. Yeah. Good. And as you do this, let yourself rest back here in your inner sanctum. And when you're ready, allow yourself to gather whatever that circumstance was and hold it in your hands, as though you were cradling a child or a sleeping puppy or a kitten. Just cradle it, not trying to do anything with it, except that we're sitting in stillness, steadiness, and clarity. Clarity. And if I were to echo my friend's question to me, what is it that you want from this circumstance at a soul level? Not your personality, not your being right part, but at that soul level, that deep, deep part of who you are. What do you want from this circumstance? And notice, as you're sitting quiet and clear, steady, how things start to change for you inside. I'm noticing my own heart is lightening up even more, even more. You may notice that your gut settles and relaxes, that a tightness there just melts. You may notice that your pelvis softens and that feeling of strength returns there. You might feel your legs and feet engage, ready to take a new path with this circumstance. Good. Good. Your heart, your gut, your pelvis, your legs and feet connected to the earth beneath you, your bones, all of this rising right on up into the brain that's between your ears, so that you're thinking more clearly and, in a sense, more purely about what you want at a soul level with this circumstance that you're dealing with. What do you want? And then your brain can begin to put things together. It can begin to create a new plan or a strategy. Or you may just get a picture. Oh, good, good. And I invite you to stay here as long as you want to with this process. Sometimes it may take time, minutes to hours to days of sitting with a circumstance that's particularly gnarly until all of it settles out and lets go. And remember that we actually, as human beings, are very practiced at letting go, because with each inhale, we let go of the old air, carbon dioxide, that's no longer of use to our cells, and we give it back to our environment, to the trees, who breathe it in. So, take as long as you need here. Come back to this as often as you need to. But take the time you need to find what your soul wants in this moment, in this circumstance. And enjoy.